Good morning. I've spent much of my professional career protecting the environment. Therefore, I consider myself to be an environmentalist. I believe that it is in our best interest to aggressively pursue more environmentally sensitive ways of living and doing business. Yet, fellow Toastmasters and guests, I am also a realist. The benefits of the way we currently live and do business are many, and they are real. Despite our current economic difficulties, the standard of living we enjoy is unparalleled in the history of mankind. However, there are also serious adverse environmental consequences of the way we currently do things. I, for one, don't want to give up the benefits we currently enjoy, but neither do I want to see my children and grandchildren pay for the excesses of my generation. As we move towards more environmentally sensitive ways of doing things, it's important that we do so in a way that makes for a smooth transition. The problem is enormous. The Energy Information Administration reports that 96% of the commercial and private transportation is fueled by oil. The EIA also reports that 85% of the total energy consumed in the United States comes from non-renewable fossil fuels such as coal, oil, and natural gas. Even if technology were present today to move away from these sources of energy, it would take years to complete the transition. Society simply couldn't afford the cost of doing it overnight. Debate rages on about how serious the problem really is. How long will our fuel resources last? To what extent do our current practices contribute to environmental problems such as global warming? There are solid arguments in favor of both sides of each of these issues. But the variables are too many, and the scientific understanding is too limited to prove either case beyond a reasonable doubt. Yet, it is indisputable that energy demand is growing. Here are 4 charts of energy demand projections from 4 different sources. It's not important what the rate of increase is that's shown, nor is it important what the ultimate magnitude of the energy demand will be. What's important is that all of these sources agree that demand is growing and will continue to grow into the near future. It is indisputable that oil is a declining resource. Here are 4 projections of energy supply and demand. Again, it's not important how long the resource will last or when the peak will occur. What's important is to realize that these are finite resources and they will dwindle with time. It is also indisputable that the use of fossil fuel creates serious environmental effects. So in evaluating how aggressively we should pursue other alternatives, I ask you to ask yourself one simple question. What is the worst that could happen if my theory is wrong? Suppose we drag our feet on pursuing energy alternatives. What's the worst that could happen? Well, we would run out of oil before suitable alternatives will have been found. Our way of life and standard of living will take a serious hit. On the other hand, suppose that we aggressively pursue alternatives and develop realistic and usable ones before the oil supply runs out. The worst case in that situation is that we will have spent our money pursuing the alternatives rather than passing the costs along to our children. I don't think that's a bad thing. And suppose that global warming turns out to be a natural phenomenon and not the result of burning of fossil fuels. In that case, the worst situation would be that we would have spent money and still not have solved the problem we set out to resolve. Yet, we will have created a healthier environment for our children and subsequent generations by reducing the amount of pollution that we currently create.